Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are the West.
For generations, baseball and the 4th of July have gone hand in hand. Baseball has become a tradition that stretches from the local Little League game to a trip to the ballpark to see your favorite Major League team. For many Americans, the 4th is also a time to say thanks to those who have served and sacrificed to give us our freedom.
Hi, this is Michael Young. Enjoy the game. Happy 4th of July. While we're all celebrating and having a good time today, enjoying a baseball game, please remember to take time to talk amongst your family and thank the brave men and women who are overseas protecting our freedom. Thank you very much.
Tonight, the Texas Rangers and Fox Sports Southwest continue our salute to heroes. Coming up next. Happy 4th of July and welcome to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Tonight, the first of a 3-game series between the Rangers and the Baltimore Orioles. And right now, let's go straight to public address announcer Chuck Morgan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Scott and Lauren Hoying honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets are in glare, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hey, I'm Major General Jeff Buchanan, USFI spokesman. I want to thank everybody, both in Iraq and our families worldwide, as well as all the great American people for all their tremendous support. It really makes a difference in our morale.
On Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By the Progressive Insurance Group for money-saving car insurance. Quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And let's welcome and say happy 4th of July to Emily Jones.
Well, happy 4th of July to you guys as well. And we all know that potential in baseball and pretty much anything in life can be a very tricky thing. But the Texas Rangers are clearly not playing up to their potential, and they know it. Ian Kinsler says, bottom line, they've just got to play better baseball. One thing you don't have to worry about with this team, though, is confidence.
We're not going to panic in here. We're definitely going to be frustrated. We're definitely going to understand that we need to play better and that we're not playing, like you said, up to our potential. But we're not going to get down on ourselves. We know that we're a very good team. We know what we're capable of, and we just need to continue to play hard.
Ian Kinsler with tonight's Geico quote of the game, and it will be interesting to see if they are able to put a string of games together today in which they play what they call Ranger baseball. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, especially here recently, but it is a long season, as they say, guys, a marathon, not a sprint.
They do say that, but they're starting now on the home stretch of this 19-game section of the schedule, all against teams below 500, most in last place, and the Rangers have only split the first 12 games. With a very disheartening loss last night to lose not only a game they seem to have pretty well in hand, but also to lose the series to the last place Florida Marlins here at home. So Ron Washington, all smiles. You put that stuff behind you and go back out, wear your patriotic hats on the 4th of July. And it's a new night. J.J. Hardy steps in against Colby Lewis.
Check out the scouting report on Colby. He's got an even record. His ERA has come down with 3 good starts in his last 3 appearances. Right at 100 innings. Last 3 starts, what's he done? He's 2-0. His ERA is 1.77. That's why it's come down to the 4.20 area.
Elvis Andrus throws out Hardy. As we check the rest of Buck Showalter's Orioles lineups, as brought to you by Southwest Airlines, we'll now see Nick Markakis off a career 5-hit game. Adam Jones in center. Vlad Guerrero comes back at DH. Mark Reynolds at third. Matt Wieters, the lone Oriole All-Star, is catching. Derek Lee. Nolan Reimold batting 8th in left, and Blake Davis bats 9th at second base. Markakis 5 for 5 yesterday in Atlanta, and has hit in 21 of his last 22 games at a .436 clip. Average up near 300. June 7th, it was .236, so he's made up a lot of ground in a little less than a month.
Nice changeup right there from Colby. Great movement on it.
Well, his first pitch was a ball. In Houston, that was his per inning average. Some of the most incredible command that you will ever see. 23 of his first 25 pitches were strikes through 6 innings. 51 of 61 pitches were strikes. Right back to him. And 2 quick outs on the ground. Defensively for the Rangers, David Murphy gets the start in left. Andy Chavez in center. Nelson Cruz is in right, with Josh Hamilton DHing today. Beltre, Andrus, Kinsler, Young, the infield. Torrealba again behind the plate. Mike Napoli activated off the disabled list today, and Taylor Teagarden sent back down to AAA Round Rock. So with 2 outs, here's Adam Jones, center fielder, who a lot of people felt, including Adam, is having an all-star year, but just wasn't room for him to make the American League all-star roster. Buck Showalter said he was pretty down about that yesterday. Really had a poor game.
Well, he's having a good year. It's tough to look at 283, 13 home runs, and say you're a shoe-in for the all-star team. I think the one thing you could say is, based on the fact that every team has to have an all-star representative, he might have been disappointed based on the other Oriole players. But Matt Wieters is having a pretty good year for a catcher, and Ron Washington felt strongly about having 3 catchers on his roster.
Jones 2 years ago had the game-winning hit in the All-Star game. And he can still make it. He's eligible in the final vote, but
stiff competition.
Yes, he is not a favorite. Up against the likes of Paul Konerko, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Victor Martinez. Final vote from now through Thursday. And the 2-2 pitch lofted lazily out to center field, and Endy Chavez waits under it. Home for Colby Lewis. A 1-2-3 first inning. Nothing for the Orioles. Kinsler and the Rangers coming to bat.
Happy 4th of July, guys. Just want to thank you so much for your service. Appreciate what you go through, your families go through in your absence, and we are praying for you and can't wait to see you come back.
Everybody with the Rangers organization and Fox Sports Southwest would echo those thoughts from Sonny. Ian Kinsler steps in to lead things off against Chris Jakubauskas. Ian, 2 hits, 2 stolen bases last night. Started a good power tear last week in Houston. Last 6 games, he has homered 4 times, driven in 6 runs. The 21 games before that, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. So a lot of positive trends for Ian Kinsler into the 4th of July weekend. Jakubauskas, 32-year-old journeyman from Anaheim.
He's been in 10 games. He's started 5 games. Pitched well in the beginning. Not quite as well after the 2nd inning. In his 5 starts, he's pitched 5 innings 4 times, 5 1/3 once. He's given up 8 earned runs in 9 career innings against the Rangers in relief. And Dave, I guess when you look at a guy like Jakubauskas, the first thing that comes to mind is perseverance. This guy, from where he started to where he is now, it's been quite a journey for him.
Really has been. He persevered through 4 colleges, for one thing. Citrus College in California, Santa Clara, Cal State Fullerton, and OU. And Kinsler sends one off the glove of J.J. Hardy for a leadoff single. Rest of the Southwest Airlines Ranger lineup. Andrews followed by the DH tonight. That's Josh Hamilton. Beltre cleanup again. Michael Young. Cruz at right. Murphy at left. Torrealba, and then Chavez. Jakubauskas at OU pitched some, more of a first baseman outfielder type. He says, literally one day my swing left me. It just disappeared one day.
That's a bad feeling.
And his mom and his roommate suggested that he try pitching again. No major league interest. He signed out of a tryout camp with an independent Frontier League team, the Florence Freedom of Kentucky. They were managed, by the way, by Chris Sabo, the former Red. That was in 03. 3 years later, Seattle signed him out of the Independent American Association. Says, I don't recommend that path. It is the path least traveled, but it is still a path. And a throw behind Kinsler from Wieters, and watch out for the arm of Matt Wieters. He has gunned down 23 would-be base stealers this year. Big reason he's on the All-Star team.
Yeah, it's not the path you would choose. It certainly wasn't the path that he chose necessarily. It's the only path that he had. And I think there's a lot of guys sprinkled throughout the big leagues who have come through the independent leagues.
Said I kept playing because I just love the game. Attitude got me to the major leagues.
Well, that's a great story. I know how he feels about losing your swing, only it happens to me on a golf course.
Overnight?
During the round. Be going along pretty good, saying this got a shot at being a pretty good round. And whoops, hook that one, whoops. Push that one into the woods, and there it goes.
Well, the Lord closed the door but opened a window for him.
Yes, he did.
Here he is back in the majors. Elvis pops one down the right field line, and this will end up just out of play. So Jakubowskis finally made it up to Seattle. 2009, 35 games there. Moved on to Pittsburgh, only 1 game last year with the Pirates. Signed with the Orioles in January, making his 11th appearance, his 5th start of the year for a ball club that is short in their rotation. They still have not announced who will be the starter. In fact, tomorrow night, game 2 of this series against Matt Harrison. It'll be Jeremy Guthrie on Wednesday. Buck Showalter, always a highly prepared manager. No doubt Jakubowskis leaders know how dangerous Ian Kinsler has been on the base paths. He has stolen 17 straight. This was hit pretty well to center field, but Adam Jones tracks it down. So Elvis, the first Ranger, out. And here's Josh Hamilton, getting kind of a half day off today, DHing after going 0 for 4 with a throwing error from center field last night. But even with the 0 for 4, had a tremendous series against the Marlins. 5 for 11, homered twice, drove in 4, scored 4 runs. 2 homer games Saturday, 4th multi-homer game of Josh's career. Good 12-6 curve for strike 1. Jakubowskis, when he's throwing well, has good movement on his fastball. Key pitch often is his changeup, which he developed in 08 just before he finally got to the majors. Curve again in the dirt, and at third, Bill Miller says Josh went around. It's 0-2. Home plate umpire is a minor league call-up, Chris Conroy.
A tough call there. If you're a hitter, you don't feel like you went. If you're the pitcher, you feel like he did go. And I guess all that matters is the third base umpire thought he went.
Tom Hallion is at first, Phil Cuzzy at second. And again, Bill Miller at third. Hamilton and then Beltre here, the Ranger first. Rangers losing the last 2 of the Marlins series, 3 of their last 4. And the last 7 games of that stretch that on paper looked like the point at which the Rangers would finally take off and get a nice pad over the rest of the American League West. It hasn't happened so far, but time this week with 3 for Baltimore and 4 for Oakland.
You know what it boils down to, it doesn't matter who the teams are that you're playing. You have to play good baseball. And the Rangers haven't played well enough to be on any kind of a streak. They haven't made enough defensive plays. They haven't made enough pitches. They hadn't had enough hits with men in scoring position. And so whether you're playing a below 500 team or an above 500 team, if you don't play well, if you don't make the pitches, make the plays, then you're not going to beat a below 500 team either. The game yesterday is a perfect example of that. That's a very winnable game that the Rangers let slip away, a game they should have won.
Ron Washington, after being ejected, went to the clubhouse, and then the power went out, including in the clubhouse. So he wasn't able to find out until later exactly what happened in that disaster of an 8th inning. He and Gary Pettis both ejected after a discussion about a would-be balk call. Kinsler goes, Hamilton strikes out, but Ian is in there with another stolen base. 18 straight, the longest of his career.
Not an easy ball for Wieters to throw on. It's a curveball down and almost in the dirt. And Wieters has to reach down low for it. And even with his strong arm, that's a tough assignment to make that catch and then make a throw and get a good base stealer.
It is also career stolen base number 125 for Ian, and he ties number 4 on the all-time Ranger list, Dave Nelson. 2 outs, Ian in scoring position for Beltre. Andrew in a big game yesterday, 3 hits, a homer, after being named to his 2nd straight All-Star team. Just a big series in general against the Marlins. 7 for 11, drove in 5 runs. Got one to hit there, but it's going to stay up for the right fielder, Markakis. So Kinsler, the leadoff single, the steal, left at second after 1 scoreless.
All right, thank you, Dave. Community Corner. This evening, we are recognizing the Texas Rangers and Southwest Airlines, who, of course, recognizes the faces of freedom. Each month, they pick veterans out, and they recognize them and honor them, and they also update them in VIP section. And if you have any idea of a veteran you would like to nominate, Faces of Freedom, please log on to TexasRangers.com/freedom, and also in November, they are going to fly a number of these veterans up to Washington for a special trip to Washington, D.C., courtesy Southwest Airlines and the Texas Rangers. What do we have here? It is the Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express coming in from Texarkana, the Italian Stallion, Bobby D. How many strong today?
We have 54 from Texarkana and Atlanta, KPYN listeners. They love the Rangers. Their job is to turn this around tonight. We're going to get back in the win column. We're going to take back first place from the Angels tonight.
I like the spirit, Bobby D. You came armed with signs, and the best sign, we'll trade parents for season tickets. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Those your little kids.
No, but the Texarkana Ranger fans are the greatest fans in the world, Noxie, and they love you too, as you can see.
I like that. All right, good to have you guys out here. Let's root the Rangers on. Keep it going all game long. Thank you.
All right, Vlad Guerrero at the plate, a ball and a strike, facing his teammate from last year, Colby Lewis, and that one hits him. Vlad getting a chance to get back into his role as DH after not being able to play much in the National League parks.
I think you saw last year, watching Guerrero play every day, that pitchers like to throw him in, like to try to jam him. He frequently, every at bat, swings and pitches out of the strike zone. I think the feeling is if you can get the ball 6 or 8 inches inside and make him swing at it, he's going to get jammed, hit it off the handle, and the ball's not going to go anywhere.
5th time this year he has been hit. 5th time Colby Lewis has hit a batter. So the Orioles with their first base runner for Mark Reynolds. He had a big day in Atlanta, game-winning 2-run home run. Day after he hit 2 out, but in a defeat. So that day didn't really count, but it was big yesterday. 5-4 win. That home run in the 7th inning after the Braves had put 4 on the board. The Orioles avoided a 3-game sweep there.
Reynolds is having pretty much a typical year. He's going to be a low average guy with a lot of strikeouts, but a guy that can hit 35 or 40 home runs and knock in 90 or 100 runs. And that's pretty much what he's on target for right now. 160, 170 strikeouts, but 35 home runs and 95 or 100 runs batted in.
A real tear lately, 4 homers his last 4 games. And 2-2. Yesterday came up with a man on third, and each of his first 3 at bats didn't come through. Struck out twice, and then came through big in the 7th inning. Don't know if he's going to catch Adam Dunn to lead the league again in strikeouts this year, though. Dunn and Austin Jackson pretty healthy lead ahead of him. 6th in homers, though, with 18. There goes one way out of here to left field. And the Orioles lead it 2-0. Number 19 is 5th in 5 games now.
He's a guy that's a dangerous hitter, whether he's hot or cold. But when he gets hot, most power hitters are streaky hitters. You've got to stay away from the middle of the plate with your fastball against him. And unfortunately, that's not what happened right there. Kobe's trying to throw it down and away. That pitch is belt high and right in the center square to the best home run hitter on the other team, the hottest home run hitter. That's just a pitch you can't make unless you want to risk what happened.
Way back there in left field. Over the seats, in fact.
He's ahead in the count. He's looking fastball all the way. And tough to miss that one.
And Matt Wieters strokes a base hit up the middle. 3 straight Orioles reach here in the 2nd inning. 407 feet on the home run by Reynolds. That's the 21st allowed now by Colby Lewis. That's 4 more than anyone else in the American League. Irvin Santana next with 17, 3rd most in the majors. So Wieters aboard for Derek Lee, the veteran first baseman who got his 1900th career hit last Thursday against the Cardinals. Lee sidelined mid-May till early June. Another guy who's been bothered by an oblique strain. Got a 1-year free agent deal after spending last year with the Cubs and the Braves. Got to Atlanta in time for his 4th postseason appearance. Over last August for 3 minor league pitchers. And 2 balls and no strikes here, so he will look for something to hit from Colby. Lee now 35 Looks at the slider in there for a strike. Sends that one to Chavez country out in deep right center field, and he hauls it in up against the bullpen wall for the first out.
Well, got away with a hanging slider right there. Lee drove it well to right center field. Ball a little bit up in the strike zone. Unfortunately, Andy's got the speed to run that down right in front of the Ranger bullpen.
Excellent jump on it. Tracked it all the way. 1 out. Weeder still at first. And here's the left fielder Nolan Reimold. Reimold playing just his 23rd game this year, up from AAA Norfolk on May 20th. Reimold trying to recover from kind of a lost year last year. 2 years ago, he was one of the top rookies in the league until he had a knee injury at 279, 15 home runs. That dropped to 207 last year. But he has been hitting both lefties and righties lately. Fans clamoring to see him in the lineup, so he's in there tonight, batting 8th.
Yeah, generally, when you play the Orioles against a right-hand pitcher, you'd expect to see Luke Scott, but he's been slumping. He's only hitting 223. Or Felix PA. Both of those guys would have been in the lineup against the Rangers earlier in the year.
Another bit of a hanging slider, but again, Chavez gets to it. 2 outs. Join the Rangers on a VIP road trip to Boston Labor Day weekend. Enjoy great seats, a VIP tour of Fenway Park, including the chance to get behind the Green Monster, hotel accommodations, and the opportunity to meet a current Rangers player. For more information, visit TexasRangers.com/roadtrips. 2 outs. And the number 9 batter, second baseman Blake Davis. Also up from Norfolk this year. Former 4th-round pick out of Cal State Fullerton. Davis lately hitting right-handed pitchers better than Robert Andino, who was on the bench again tonight. Luke Scott really banged up. Excellent player who may need shoulder surgery. He's kind of fighting that idea at the moment, but he's got that and a bad knee.
And that explains why he's struggling then.
Davis strokes a base hit out to Cruz and keeps this top of the second alive. Baltimore already up 2-0.
Kobe's struggling with his command within the strike zone. There's another pitch right near the center square. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're facing a big league team and a lot of your fastballs are right in the center square, you're giving the other team a pretty good advantage.
Early visit from Mike Maddox. He'll face J.J. Hardy again. He got Hardy to ground out on 2 pitches. Needed just 11 pitches and a 1-2-3 first. But this inning started with a ball that hit Guerrero. He scored on the Reynolds homer. Weeder scorched a single. Lee sent Chavez to the warning track. And then 1 out later, line drive base hit by the number 9 hitting Davis. Hardy goes after the first pitch and grounds it just foul. J.J. Hardy, another Oriole who in a better year might have had a case to make the All-Star team. That's how close that ball was. He has made 1 error all year playing shortstop. Contrast that to Andrus, who committed his 16th last night. And the 1 error was controversial. They tried to get the official score to change it. It was like a 60-yard chase for a foul pop, according to Buck Showalter. Foul pop here, and it's 0-2. So that's still his only error. Showalter says he cannot imagine anyone playing better at shortstop. The best thrower he's ever seen from that position.
Well, if he's playing that kind of defense, he's got a .514 slugging percentage. He's hit 13 doubles and 11 home runs. Probably does have a little bit of a gripe for not making the All-Star team.
He's homered in 9 straight series, so he's doing it consistently. Reaches out and taps that one to Michael Young, who will do it unassisted to end the inning. And Lewis limits the damage to the 2-run Mark Reynolds home run. Bottom of the second now, and the Rangers coming from behind.
We're in MCB 28 here in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And we just want to say,
Go Rangers! Well, Rangers need to go some now, trailing 2-0 into the bottom of the second. It'll be Young, Cruz, and Murphy against Chris Jakabauskas. We worked around a leadoff single by Kinsler and a stolen base to retire Andrus, Hamilton, and Beltre. Strike one to Michael. He's at first. Mitch Moreland getting a mental day. Mitch in an 0 for 14 slump at the moment. Ron Washington sees him pressing a little bit. So he's the kind of grinder that you can see sometimes that will turn around and work against a player like Mitch because he wants to excel in every single at bat.
The other side of it is in those 14 at bats, he's probably hit 3 hard hit balls to the infield and 2 or 3 balls that he just barely got underneath and launched to the warning track all over the field too. So he's swinging the bat fine. Just needs to make a little bit better contact on some of the balls that he's getting underneath and get a little more fortunate and find a hole on some of the other hard hit balls.
Michael at 312, still 6th in the league, tied for 9th in runs batted in with 54. And a notion on that one ended up inside, full count. Fastball with good movement, as the scouting report says about Chris Jakabauskas. Just a piece of that one to stay in there at 3-2. Well hit to center field. Jones looks up. It is off the base of the wall. And a leadoff double for Michael Young.
You have to hit it hard to get it over. Adam Jones said he can really track him down out in center field. The other thing he does is he throws really well too. He didn't have a chance to get Michael at second base. He fired this ball all the way from the warning track in dead center field on a line accurately into second base.
So both innings now, Rangers have the leadoff man aboard. Kinsler stole his way into scoring position. And here is Nelson Cruz, swinging about as hot a bat as he has wielded all year, but a one-hopper right to Reynolds. And he is easily disposed of this first at bat, after going 3 for 4 with a double and a homer last night. Unproductive out here. Michael still at second for David Murphy. Murphy last night 0 for his first 3, then he tripled in a run in the 9th inning, his first extra base hit since a home run against the Royals on May 27th. Back out there tonight, his 3rd start over the last 7 games. Even with that triple, David in a 3 for 23 and 5 for 34 slump. Bausis finds the corner, 1-1. Rangers finished interleague play this year 9-9. And the reason the Angels have caught them, they went 13-5 against the National League. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Here comes Young. Here comes the throw by Jones, and he is safe. 1 run for the Rangers, and Murphy will take second base on the throw.
I didn't think Jones had a chance to even make that a close play. But just as he fired the ball to second from the warning track, he guns this throw home. Strong throw. Just a chopper up the middle. Looked like it'd be an easy ball for Michael to score on, but watch this strong throw. Right on the money. But because Weeder couldn't quite handle the hop, David Murphy just trades places with Michael and takes second base. Michael just gets his hand in. Weeder's had the plate blocked pretty nicely if he went in sliding feet first or if he tried to bowl over the catcher. But he slid past the bag and reached in and tagged right behind his foot.
And they're charging Weeders with an error, allowing Murphy to get to second base. It bounced past him a little bit, so here's Torrealba. Curve for a strike. It's the ball coming in to Matt Weeders.
Yeah, that's not an easy throw to handle. Hard throw that bounced close to him. It didn't take a nice true hop where you have plenty of time to see the hop. That was almost a short hop.
That's hit well. Jones goes back, and this one is over his head. Murphy comes around to tie it 2-2 on another double by Yorvi Torrealba. Just about an instant replay, the shot Jones had just chased off the bat of Michael Young.
You know, Dave, before the game in the pregame show, we were talking about the last 9 times that these two teams have met at this ballpark. Each team has averaged over 6 runs a game. And so I guess we're right on track for something similar tonight.
Rick Adair, bullpen coach when the year began, and became pitching coach when Mark Connor decided to call it quits in that capacity. So out for a word with Jakubauskas before Andy Chavez will step in. 2 runs on 3 hits, an error, 2 extra base hits. Murphy's 17th RBI, Torrealba's 15th, and strike 1 to Chavez. After his incredible start, he had to come down. He has 6 for his last 39 over his last 13 games, down from 429 to 307. Sends that one high and deep down the right field line. Gone! A 2-run home run, and the Rangers lead it.
Pretty nice job by the bottom of the order. Murphy, Torrealba, and Chavez. single, double homer. And he had looked like a curveball. Let's see where it is. Curveball inside, maybe a little bit off the plate, as a matter of fact. So that takes a pretty nice swing to be able to hit that pitch. Not necessarily to hit it hard, but to keep it fair. And he had no problem doing that.
Third home run for Chavez, second here. 383 feet, his first one here, if you remember, went in the upper deck, something you wouldn't think a guy of his modest size could pull off.
He uses a fairly big bat, takes a big leg kick, holds the bat right down on the bottom, and takes a healthy swing. I guess he can surprise you.
So 4-2 Rangers, 2-0 to Kindler, who singled off the glove of Hardy in a 3-1 pitch to begin the first, and then stole second base. High pop up, shallow center field, and three converge. It is Jones who takes it. Orioles finally have a second out of the second inning. Already up, Alfredo Simon. Simon, one of the candidates to perhaps start tomorrow. 4 more runs now, 12 straight games, the longest streak in the majors this season. So that's a pretty beleaguered bullpen Buck Showalter has out there. And one reason he didn't want to announce a starter for tomorrow, he says there's a good chance I may have to use that guy tonight. Might have to call somebody up.
That guy has no idea who he is. Probably not even here.
1-1 to Elvis, who flied to center his first trip.
Although he may be here just in case, sitting in his hotel room watching the game on TV right now. Teams have been known to do that when you anticipate you might need a pitcher or a player. Have him there available even if you don't use him.
Elvis walking off a foul off his foot or ankle. And the slow curve in there. Second strikeout for Chris Jakubauskas, but a 4-run Rangers second, keyed by Michael Young's double.
This is Michael Young. I want to say a very happy 4th of July to our police officers and firefighters who protect our streets and keep us safe in our communities. Thank you very much. Happy 4th.
West is brought to you by Geico Insurance. For 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T, rethink possible. On a 100-degree 4th of July, Colby Lewis now staked to a 4-2 lead into the third, looking for the shutdown inning. Markakis, Jones, and Guerrero, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Markakis bounced to the mound at a 1-2-3 first. Colby needing just 11 pitches. Took him 22 to get through the second, which began with a pitch that hit Guerrero. Next batter, Reynolds, homer deep to left. .35 pitches, 22 for strikes so far from Colby Lewis.
Markakis, another hitter who's choking up on the bat.
A curveball dropped it in just in time. 1-2.
Last 4 years, Markakis has averaged 45 doubles. Midway through the season, he only has 11 this year. His average is about the same as you would expect it to be, mid-290s.
Strokes that one pretty hard and confused Cruz a little bit. Froze him, and he recovered to make the catch. Let's check it again with Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Dave. I'm with Specialist Starks. He's on a little R&R, resides here in Grand Prairie, but heads back to Iraq July 18th. Part of 150 soldiers singing the national anthem. Check this out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
You will see the entirety of that on Rangers Live after the game. First off, Specialist Starks, congratulations on a performance well done singing the national anthem. How did you get picked to do that?
Well, it was just a guy walking around trying to do a show freestyle Iraq, which we do, and he just asked or whatever.
Right, well, it's been a big hit. Now, you go back to Iraq July 18th. What is it for you? It's got to be really nice. You're here with your son. You're here with your wife, spending 4th of July here in your hometown.
It's great. I'm just happy to be here, watching the game or whatever.
And a big Ranger fan. I appreciate the time. Thank you for everything you do. Dave?
All those guys were in tune. That's incredible.
How'd they do that?
Jones lifts that one to center. Chavez back a couple of steps. USAA would like to recognize our American military members here tonight at the stadium. Military insurance-based company out in San Antonio. Vlad Guerrero hit by a pitch, leading off the second. Buck Showalter hoping the return to Arlington would re-energize Vlad. Didn't have much to do during interleague play, particularly road interleague play. 6 homers, only 1 since May 22nd. This after he hit 29 with the Rangers last year.
We've always talked about Vladimir being a bad ball hitter. That's obvious, and everybody knows that. This year he has swung at 47%. 47% of the time that he's swung, the ball's been a ball, hasn't been a strike, which I guess is about what you would expect watching him play.
Let that one go.
He's only walked 9 times. He's been up 289 times.
Well, close to his 10th here. 3-1.
Well, he'll swing at bad pitches. You have to make it a pitch that he can reach. If he can reach it, he'll swing at it.
Gave him a good one to hit there. He just couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, there was a time 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even points of the season last year, where he wouldn't have missed that pitch.
Tenth walk. Lewis barely misses the corner. So Vlad on base for the second time without putting a ball in play. A highly unusual start. Now we'll see how Colby deals with Mark Reynolds, who had a 2-2 pitch 407 feet over the seats in left for his 19th home run of the year.
Yeah, right now, if there's a guy in this lineup you don't want to throw a strike to, this is him. This is he. This is him, or this is he?
This is he.
This is he.
He is it.
That's what I thought.
It's this guy.
Mark Reynolds.
Tom, as you said, a lot of homers, a lot of strikeouts.
Yep, that's pretty much who he is. And he'll have streaks, and he's in one right now. And when he's in one, be careful.
Here's the shot that sailed over the lower level seats and left.
Kobe's trying to throw that ball away, and it came back toward the middle of the plate. Not just a mistake to the wrong guy.
407 feet later, the Orioles had a brief 2-0 lead. And at first, Tom Hallion says he didn't go.
That was a good pitch, though. No balls and 2 strikes. It was a tempting slider, probably a little bit outside. Almost got him to swing at it. Let's see if he did.
Yeah.
I've seen that one called before. That was callable.
That slider drops low, 2-2. Most of his hits have a good chance of leaving the yard. Defensively, a liability. He's made 19 errors, the most of anyone in either league. Looks at one, and he is pretty disgusted with himself for letting that one go.
We knew it.
First strikeout for Colby Lewis, and he gets the shutdown top half of the 3rd inning. Around the 2-out walk to Guerrero. Stars gathered together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins next Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 only on Fox. And Josh Hamilton will be there in the starting American League outfield for the 4th straight year.
A lot of curveballs to Josh, and Jakubauskas has a nice curveball, big, sharp-breaking curveball. A lot of off-speed pitches.
Oh, the bat toss high enough that folks were able to make sure they gave it a nice soft landing out there.
That would challenge the distance record for the 2011 season. Changeup has Josh way out in front of it. So far out in front of it that he couldn't hang on to the bat. Usually with a ball, one person gets it. With a bat, the potential exists for multiple hands to be on that bat. We don't know who ended up with it.
Well, that gentleman, he's our winner. And the next pitch, base hit to center field. So it goes with Josh Hamilton. And let's check in with Emily Jones again.
Well, guys, as you well know, Adrian Beltre will be joining Josh Hamilton in Arizona, his 2nd All-Star appearance. And while third baseman Alex Rodriguez was the leading vote getter among the fans, Adrian was the most popular choice amongst the players.
It means a lot. The players is the one that, picked me. I think that's one of the recognition that we as a player take more seriously, because we kind of know what we do each other, and we have a better idea who to pick. So I'm really glad.
And as Michael Young says, the ultimate compliment when your peers vote you in, and to be the leading vote getter among his position is definitely a huge one for Adrian.
And a pretty wide margin over A-Rod.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you look at the player vote, because he's right. The players are in the dugout. They know the other players. They watch them differently than the rest of us watch them. And I think you have to put a lot of weight on who they choose.
High and deep to left field. Reimold on the track. Looks up. And it is over his head and out of here. 2-run shot by Beltre. It's 6-2.
If the wall wasn't here, it looked like all Reimold would have done is step back maybe 2 more steps, and he could have caught it. It was so high, it was coming almost straight down, and it just scraped over the back of the wall. One of those that technically you just miss. You get underneath it and hit it sky high, but the just miss was still far enough to sneak it out of the ballpark.
The bat toss looked like he thought it was going to be catchable.
It is right behind him. He just ran out of room.
So number 16 for Adrian Beltre on the final pitch thrown by Chris Jakubauskas, and Alfredo Simon can take his name out of the potential starters for tomorrow night. Over quite yet. You can vote for the 34th and final player for each league roster until Thursday at 3 p.m. Central. Go to TexasRangers.com and cast your All-Star Game final vote for the final 2 All-Stars for the game next week in Phoenix. Vote at TexasRangers.com. Chris Jakubauskas, last 2 innings and 2 batters, turns over a 6-2 deficit to 30-year-old Alfredo Simon from the Dominican Republic. Big 6'6", 230-pounder. Michael Young doubled, scored the first of 4 Ranger runs in the second.
6 games for Simon. 17 innings, 17 strikeouts. Big, strong, hard-throwing kid.
Off the glove of Derek Lee, and Michael Young has himself another hit. 3 straight hits for the Rangers to start this 3rd inning. Michael against Florida, 2 hits and 12 at-bats in those 3 games. 2 for 2 start to this series.
Michael just pokes this one toward right field. Derek Lee is a very good defensive player. Just has that hop go off the side of his glove.
Eighth hit already for the Rangers, and here's Nelson Cruz. He strokes one to center field. Jones comes in, though, to make the catch, and Nelly is 0 for 2. Our fourth leaderboard for tonight. Hit leaders. Michael with 2 tonight, up to 106. Second in the American League. Well in arrears of Adrian Gonzalez.
Dave, we've had quite a picnic up here in the booth.
Yes, we have.
For 4th of July, and I'm going to try to thank all the people as quickly as I can. The Pate family from Abilene, Texas, sent up several boxes of cupcakes, which we appreciate very much. Now, I don't have the last name for Chris and Jonathan. They're from Axtell, Texas. They sent up a great batch of, I believe it was brownies. Thank you very much, guys. Chocolate chips, maybe. Probably the star of the day was the box of brownies sent up from Carolyn Long and family from Dumas, Texas. They were delicious, Carolyn. Thank you very much. And someone else from Chillicothe, Texas. Just learned how to say that the other day. Valley Pecans. Mike and Elizabeth Bailey sent them. They're here with Todd, Rachel, Alex, and Austin Meadows from Overton, Texas. All sorts of pecans. Thank you for those.
Two-one pitch to Murphy, and he slaps it through the left side. Another base hit. David is 2 for 2. After coming in 3 for his last 23.
Rangers have a little bit of everything today. They found some holes. David's got a ground ball up the middle. He's got a ground ball between third and short. Well hit line drive. Nice job of hitting right there. They've had a couple of line shots over the center fielder's head. And they've also launched a couple of home runs, one to left and one to right. Bats have come alive.
Your Vitor Alba, big hit, an RBI double in the 4-run second. He was 1 for his last 13 over his previous 4 games. A lot of swings getting straightened out here in these first 3 innings.
My personal favorite today came from David and Marilyn Tatum. They're here celebrating their 35th anniversary.
Pop up down the right field line, and Markakis is there for out number 2.
They sent up the big jar of bread and butter jalapenos. In fact, Maryland took first place, grand champion at the Lampasas County Fair with that recipe. She also sent some coconut marshmallows, coconut pecan marshmallows, and some wheat thins.
Wheat thins.
So that was probably as much variety as we've ever received in one basket.
Just in case you've done a little overeating on the holiday.
There's
some
a little bit of everything. So to all the people that provided our picnic today for the 4th of July, thank you very much.
Endy Chavez, 2-run home run. His first time up, 383 feet just inside the right field foul pole, his 3rd of the year.
And to all of you who are going, I wish you'd shut up about the food, I'm done. Relax. Got a lot of baseball left.
From the start of things, a lot of baseball left. 2-0 to Chavez. And that one right on the corner. His first at bat on an 0-1 pitch from Jakubauskas.
There was a curveball that was up, but it's still a nice job of hitting by Endy to keep that ball fair. He had to keep his hands in to keep from hooking that around the foul pole in foul territory.
3 balls and a strike. Nice stop by Wieters. If he reaches, bases will be loaded for Ian Kinsler. Young at second, Murphy at first. Both with hits after the Beltre 2-run home run. There have already been 3 2-run homers in this game. Reynolds and the 2 Rangers. And that's trouble if fair, and it is a fair ball into the left field corner. Young scores. Here comes Murphy. He slides in safe. And Chavez has driven in 4 runs tonight.
4 runs in 2 innings. This is a terrific relay throw from J.J. Hardy. When you're just watching for nice little baseball plays, doesn't mean anything. The runner's safe at the plate. The ball got away from the catcher. But if we get a chance to look at it, watch Hardy pick the relay throw. And watch Endy sneak in. Watch the relay throw from the left fielder, Reimold. Yeah, we don't have time to watch it right now. Maybe we'll get back to it.
Ball 1 to Kinsler, who has singled, stolen a base, and flied to center. Here we go.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. Watch the relay throw. The relay throw is low. Watch the job Hardy does picking it and throwing it all in one motion and making a close play out of it at the plate. That's why Buck Showalter is raving about his defense. Hands and an arm like that. He talked, Dave, he told you that he's never seen a better arm at shortstop.
Never seen a better thrower at shortstop.
And you get a pretty good look at it right there. It looked like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from mid-left field home.
Kinsler got one to, he hoped, send a long way, but not straight up and down, and Hardy makes that catch. But the Rangers have their second straight 4-run inning. 2-run homer by Beltre keys the rally. To you by Chevrolet. See your North Texas Chevy dealers for Independence Day savings. Dave Barnett, Tom Grieve into the 4th inning. What a night for Endy Chavez so far. 2-run homer, a 2-run double. Breaking out in a big way from a 2-week or so tailspin and keying the Rangers 8-2 advantage as Wieters, Lee, and Reimold will hit against Lewis here in the 4th. Only damage for Baltimore so far in this game, a 2-run Mark Reynolds home run in the 2nd. Wieters singled his first time up, immediately following the Reynolds blast. And momentarily, we'll go back to Jim Knox with a very special guest. Got to be very satisfying for Matt Wieters to make the All-Star team because he had a lot of doubters after coming into the majors with quite a bit of hype. 5th overall pick, 2007 out of Georgia Tech. Finalist for the Johnny Bench Award, switch hitting catcher. Colby painting the corners so far here, 2-2.
A nice cutter right there. Brought it back from outside to right on the corner.
And the bouncer right at Michael Young. And here's Jim Knox.
All right, look who we found here, Dave. It's Nick Jonas, part of the Jonas brothers. A lot of Ranger fans may not realize this, Nick, but you grew up in the area, born and raised in Dallas, live here, you know, time in, time out. But you are a big-time Ranger fan, right?
Yeah, we live here in Westlake. I was born here in Dallas, and we try to make it out to as many games as we can, but we love the Rangers.
All right, what's next for Nick Jonas? You're producing a record for your brother?
No, right now my main focus is writing and producing for other people. My brother Joe is doing a solo record. I didn't have much involvement with it, but I'm very proud of him, what he's doing. It's exciting stuff.
All right, well, continued success, and good to see you. Thank you, Nick.
Derek Lee sends a high fly out to David Murphy. And Colby retires the first 2 Orioles in another shutdown inning opportunity. With 2 outs, here's Nolan Reimold. Reimold flied out his first time up to center. And Colby, after a little bit of a wobbly second inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. All started after he hit Vlad Guerrero. Back on track now.
Yep, it's all about command, and Colby's got it back now.
A 1-2-3, 9-pitch top half of the 4th inning.
Corporal Jeremy Allen with the United States Marine Corps here in Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan. Just want to wish y'all a happy 4th of July and give a shout out to my wife and my family in Arlington, Texas. And go Rangers!
And Beltre will bat the bottom of the 4th against Alfredo Simon. Elvis is 0 for 2. Fly to center and struck out looking. That was against Jakabauskas. Chris Jakabauskas lasted just 2 batters into the 3rd inning. Elvis chopper handled at 3rd by Reynolds, and he is 0 for 3. Time for our holiday edition of our AT&T Trivia question. Who was the first major leaguer to have his jersey number retired? And your hint is it had a tie-in to this particular holiday. Here's Josh Hamilton, struck out in the 1st, led off the 3rd with a single, and strokes this one high to right center field. Jones over with Markakis taking charge. Simone now is retired to 3 straight.
I forgot a shout out, Dave. Wanted to give a shout out to Sergeant Thomas Tatum. He's in Germany now, just left Afghanistan in April. So Thomas, on the 4th of July, thank you for your service and all that you do.
Here's Beltre's hit it hard twice, lined to Markakis down the first. Skies this one foul. Last time up, dropped one just over the left field wall, 387 feet, 2-run shot, his 16th of the year.
And also the first time up, that line shot that he hit to right field, he probably hit that harder than he hit his home run. Markakis didn't even need a move.
He is stringing together some really good at bats. 7 for 11 against Florida, 5 runs batted in. Here was his shot last inning. Yeah, I think judging from the bat toss, he didn't think it had enough.
Yeah, I don't think you would toss it thinking you had a home run when it was that close to being an out. So I think that's probably what he did think.
Just kind of a note of disappointment or disgust at that time. Then he looked up and saw better news was in store. Tried to put that one out in the same seats, 2-2. Adrian now up to 272, his batting average, its highest since late April. And off the glove of Reynolds. You see why he leads the majors in errors. Beltre almost halfway to second before he throws on the brakes. E5. That is number 20 for Mark Reynolds.
He wasn't sure whether to charge it or stay back on it. If he charges it, he's going to have to field a short hop. Stay back on it, you have to field the big hop. And he got kind of caught in between and wasn't able to catch that big hop.
Is that the classic letting the ball play you mistake?
Kind of, yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Or not, you know, a little indecisive. Should I charge it? Should I stay back? Still, at the same time, if he stays back like he did and catches the hop, he's got a shot.
First ball hitting, Michael Young deep to right center and off the wall. Beltre coming home. Young headed to third. He's got a triple, and it's 9-2.
Well, Michael Young, in 3 innings, has a single, a double, and a triple. Just missed a home run.
Michael's classic inside out stroke. And the pitch way up and in. So you know he's got to have at least a couple more at bats. He's got the hardest part of the cycle out of the way right there. He's been on a pretty good home run jag of late. This was close. Foot, maybe 2. Deepest part of the yard out there, 407. Cruz pops one up. Second baseman Davis waiting an eternity for that one to come down and end the inning. So Cruz is 0 for 3. Andrews is 0 for 3. Everybody else really enjoying themselves so far through 4.
Oliver. And I'd like to thank everybody on this day, the 4th of July, for all the support overseas that the troops give us. Police officers, the fire department, and everybody else who makes this country great to live in. So happy 4th of July, guys.
9-2, Rangers early on locked out starter Chris Jakubauskas, now batting around pretty well so far against Alfredo Simon. We are joined by Mark McLemore, former Oriole and Ranger, Oriole before Ranger. Is this the perfect way to forget about last night, the way this game has started?
Definitely. You've got to forget about last night. This team has been good in the past at leaving yesterday and not worrying about it the next day, not having any lingering effects, no matter if it's a good night or a bad night. So this is the perfect way to do it.
Blake Davis singled his first time up. Colby had kind of a rocky second inning, but locked in again since then.
Well, that's what, Colby does. He's a veteran pitcher. Wasn't able to locate the ball, early on. Was leaving his fastball out over the plate. Couldn't locate his slider. But then he settled into it, and that's what makes him, a good pitcher, a good quality pitcher. You're not going to always be able to go out there with your best stuff all the time. So you've got to learn how to find that groove, and Colby does a good job of finding that groove.
Well, the Orioles come in last in the East, and this is a string of last-place teams that the Rangers have not really taken advantage of playing.
No, they really haven't. And this is a perfect time of the year, but you've got to remember too that these are still Major League Ball clubs, and they're not just going to lay down because they're in last place. They can go out and beat you on any given night, just like last night's ball game. So they've still got to come out with that intensity and that same level of intensity and urgency to go out and win a ball game.
Just outside of the number 9 hitter, now a full count. After Davis's single, his first time up, Colby retiring 7 of the last 8 batters he faced. Didn't want to do that. Leadoff walk to the 9 hitter with a 7-run lead in the 5th. And let's now answer our AT&T trivia question. 4th of July edition. First major leaguer to have his jersey number retired was, of course, Lou Gehrig, who made his famous speech for a sold-out crowd at Yankee Stadium on the 4th of July, 1939. Considered himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Strike one to J.J. Hardy. An iconic image. Unforgettable words. For people who had never heard of the disease that would become known for the Iron Horse. J.J. Hardy 0 for 2, 2 groundouts. But Matt, how about a shortstop who has 1 error on the 4th of July? That's just beyond any reasonable expectations, isn't it?
Well, if you like that kind of defense out of the middle of the infield and shortstop, I guess that's pretty good. I don't know. Tag, you like that kind of defense at your shortstop?
Nah, not really. That's almost perfect. Who likes perfect?
It's showing off, isn't it? Really?
Well, and he probably made the 1 error just because he didn't want to be so perfect. But J.J. Hardy, he's got a great glove. He's having a bounce back year, so it's good for him and good for the Orioles.
Shallow right for Cruz.
We went back and showed the relay throw that he made to the plate, and he scooped the ball off the grass on a short hop, and then all in the same motion fired almost a strike to the plate. And kind of in one play, you got to look at his hands, the arm strength, the accuracy, and you could see that he looks like a terrific shortstop.
Those are the things that people don't really realize, and this is a tough play. I mean, it bounces. You get a bounce from the outfielder. You pick it, scoop it, and throw it, going all in the same direction, one motion. That's about as perfect as it could be right there. That's not an easy play.
Now, the big leaguers make those look easy, Mac, and you probably did the same thing many times yourself, but when we watch those, they look easy because of the talent of the big league players, but that's not an easy thing to do.
No, especially when it bounces. It's a little bit easier if you can catch it in the air, but when that ball bounces, you don't know if it's going to go left or right. You've got to catch it, pick it, come up and still fire accurately with a strong arm, and tremendous play.
When you're the cutoff man, where are you ideally looking to get the ball from the outfielder?
I want to get it chest high. That's where I want it, because that's where, I don't have to move too far. I don't have to reach down, jump up, go left or right, but it's in that little box area that middle infielders are used to being in when you turn a double play. It's the least amount of distance to have to move to take the ball out of the glove, transfer it, and throw it to the next base.
So the outfielder throws it directly to you, and then you try. How do you maneuver your body to get into position to throw?
If I'm that lead guy, I'm going out to get into position. I'm lining up to the next base or the base that I'm going, want to go to, and I turn my body to the left. I want to open up because I already want to be open once I get the ball.
Right.
Oh, nifty move there. Kinsler, the backhand flip for 2, 4-6-3. Just the way Mark McLemore used to do it.
We might have to come back and watch that one again for you, Matt.
I think so.
I think we may. In fact, how about right here? Brown, hand center, great hands. Mark McLemore, what would Gene Mauch have done if you had played this that way? Although Gene pulled it off with a great flair.
Even if I had pulled it off, Gene Mauch would have been right there at the bottom of the stairs, standing there with his arms folded, putting somebody else in to play second base the next inning. Even if I had made it. Gene was a stickler for defense and having everything done by the book. The backhand flip's not necessarily by the book. Looks pretty. It worked. Great play. Not many guys can do that.
David Murphy bouncing to the mound while we were enjoying again that inning-ending double play. Here's Torrealba. RBI double, scored a run to the Rangers' 4-run second. They followed with 4 more in the third and an unearned run off of Simone in the fourth. So far, Mark, sparkling defensive play by the Rangers. What do you make of the fact that Elvis Andrus made 16 errors all of last year, and last night made his 16th error of this year? What do you see going on with Elvis?
I really think that a lot of times it's just lack of concentration with Elvis. He gets to balls. A lot of them have just been, some throwing errors and fielding errors, just dropping the ball, not making the play, but just lack of concentration, really.
Shot to right, base hit by Torrealba. He's got a 2-hit game. He had a tough play last night. Off the bat of Hanley Ramirez, a little bouncer just behind the mound. Fundamentally, was there anything wrong with that? He tried to charge and field it with 2 hands.
That's a little tough. That's a pretty tough play when you're coming in from shortstop to go down with 2 hands. I think he had time to go down with 1 hand and make it a little bit easier to get and bring it back up and take it out of his glove cleanly and make the play. Hanley didn't get out of the box really well. So I think there was a little bit more time, and he probably rushed it here. Hanley kind of stumbled coming out of the box. I think if he comes up with one hand and makes the transfer, he gets him easily. Now, there are a lot of shortstops that make that play going down like that, running that fast with two hands, and they can get it done.
Double play ball here. Also 4-6-3 off the bat of Chavez. Wish we had more time with Mark McLemore. Will you be back tomorrow?
I will be here tomorrow.
We'll look forward to it.
See you guys.
Those veterans who have done so much to help us. Log on to MLB.com or welcomebackveterans.org for more information on how you can make a difference. And it is a great sight to see so many from the military around Rangers Ballpark tonight. Very close to a capacity house. Last night, the 8th sellout of the year. One more than all of last year, 46,000 plus. Pretty close to that, it would appear, tonight. And after a 2-run Baltimore first, they have enjoyed 9 unanswered put on the board by the Rangers as Colby Lewis has sailed since the 2-run homer by Reynolds for the only Baltimore offense so far. Adam Jones has twice flied to center. Then it'll be Guerrero and Reynolds again. .74 pitches, 47 strikes. Through 5 for Colby. Needed only 9 pitches in a 1-2-3-4, 14 thanks to the double play in the 5th, which began with the walk to the leadoff hitting number 9 batter Blake Davis, but ended with the double play. Colby going for his 4th straight quality start. And a chance to get over 500 for the year. He is 7-7, making his 17th start. Colby's had some home struggles this year. 2 wins, 3 losses, an ERA of 6.13. As most of his 21 home runs have been here. Last year seemed to be able to keep the ball down and in the park a little bit better than he has this year.
Well, Colby had a 3-batter stretch. He hit Guerrero with an inside fastball. Threw a pretty good pitch for Reynolds to hit.
And a leadoff single by Jones to start the 6th. And let's now go to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for a McDonald's Dollar Drink Game Break. All right, Tim, thanks. Here's Vlad Guerrero, yet to be retired, yet to put a ball in play. He was hit by a pitch leading off the second and walked with 2 outs in the third.
He gave up the home run to Reynolds, then a base hit to Wieters, and other than that, he's only given up a couple of singles, so really settled down after missing his target a couple of times in a row with 2 hitters.
Base hit by Jones, first since Davis singled with 2 outs in that second inning. Retired 9 of the last 11 before that base hit. The only 2 who reached were both on walks, including Vlad last time up. And Colby trying to get him to reach on that one out of the zone. Instead, it's 3-0.
I think what Colby has to remember here is he's got a 9-2 lead. It's not a 1-run game. There you go.
Taking all the way. Vlad had a good spring after signing a 1-year deal at .364. Last month got his 2,500th career hit. But ball 4. Colby, after hitting him, has walked him the next 2 trips now, and the first 2 reach in a 7-run game in the 6th inning. And here's Reynolds, who put the only 2 Baltimore runs on the board in his first at bat, 407 feet to left.
That probably would have been the best way to pitch to Vlad 4 or 5 years ago, but he's starting to reach the point in his career where you can see the end in sight. Not quite the same threat at the plate that he has been in the past. But it's been a great career.
Hall of Fame career?
Some people think it's a Hall of Fame career.
If you're
Certainly in the discussion for it.
If you're just talking about during his prime, a guy who could not be pitched to, I mean, in my mind, that's the definition of a Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter what you do, he's going to do what he does. And that's how he was basically from 1998 right on through last year. 442 home runs. Now over 2,500 hits. Reynolds unable to hold off on that one.
He's looking for a fastball all the way right there. He's trying to hit another home run.
Vlad, a 9-time All-Star, including last year with the Rangers. 6 postseasons. How much more could he do? So he's on my first ballot if I'm a voter, which I'm not. Exemplary citizen, one of the great influences on the young Latin players in recent baseball history. One reason Buck Showalter was so happy to welcome him into his clubhouse this year.
Yeah, and when you watch Vladimir the last few years, you forget the kind of player he was. He stole in back-to-back years 37 and 40 bases when he was hitting 34 and 39 home runs, knocking in 100 runs. He truly was an all-around player.
Yet to talk to anyone who has a bad word to say about Vlad Guerrero. Still 2-2 to Reynolds. But Vlad definitely in the second half last year and the postseason started to show what at this point has got to be age, and the first half this year too much like the second half of 2010. But on that given day, that given at bat can still determine a game. And the Orioles hoping Reynolds gets something to hit here so they can start crawling back into this game. Just got out of hand pretty early. Lewis strikes him out for the second straight time.
Yeah, you have to think to some degree, even if it's subconsciously, Kobe walking Guerrero has a lot to do with having watched him hit last year and knowing the damage he can do, and the need to be careful, and also the fact that he swings at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. You probably go into the at bat saying to yourself, all I have to do is throw it near the plate and he'll swing at it. But he was a little bit too far off the plate. He wasn't tempted to swing, so he ended up walking a couple times.
So one out for Matt Wieters. And a swing and a miss. Wieters is single, grounded to first. There's a good reason that he is on the All-Star team right there. Best in the majors with runners in scoring position, 426.
Yeah, so when you see that he's only had 33 RBIs, he's making the most out of his chances. He just hasn't had many chances.
That's that one go by, and it's 0-2. 22 pitches in that 2-run second. Pretty much in complete command since then. 2 runs, 4 hits. Orioles have 2 errors. They've left 3. 9 runs, 12 hits. No errors for the Rangers. And Young goes to second. That will be it. With a good slide by Guerrero, ensuring that there would be no relay to first.
Well, one thing you definitely have when you have a guy like Michael playing first base as an infielder, shortstop, second base, third base, is a guy who can throw it accurately to second base on this kind of a throw. Mike Napoli, having been a catcher, is very good at that too. Mike has a strong, accurate arm on that type of a throw.
Mike back activated today. You might see Michael Young anywhere in the infield in the All-Star game too.
I think that's one of the things that brings real value to him as an All-Star player this year. And the fact that Ron Washington has seen him play all those positions and wouldn't hesitate to use him at any one of the 4.
Michael at first base has committed only 2 errors, about 195 chances now for the year. 1-1 to Lee. First time up, Chavez made a nice running catch. Last time he flied to left. Jones at third after a leadoff single. Wieters at first on the fielder's choice. Lewis about to throw his 96th pitch. And a strike away from ending this 6th inning. In Anaheim, the Angels leading the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0. LA, the Rangers tied for the top spot in the American League West. The Rangers had sole possession of the lead for the last 36 days, 45 of the last 46 until last night's loss. And a full count to Lee. Seattle beat Oakland this afternoon 2-1. And the Mariners, a game under 500 now, 42-43, but they are only 2 games back as of this moment. Oakland 6.5 back at 10 under 500, 38-48. Crowd getting behind Lewis here on the 3-2 2-out pitch. And this one will end up out of play just past the dugout. He'll have to come again. 3-2 to Lee. Most of the action this afternoon on the 4th of July around the Major League Baseball. Other games going. Atlanta 3, Colorado 1. Top of the 8th, and bottom of the 3rd at Dodger Stadium. LA 1, the Mets nothing. Again, the 3-2 pitch called strike 3. at the knees, and Lee arguing with Chris Conroy over this call. Colby gets his second and third strikeouts here in the 6th inning and leaves runners on the corners and keeps it 9-2 after 5.5.
Howdy, Rangers. I'm Sergeant Mike Higley here at Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan. I'd like to say hi to my family in San Antonio, Texas, and my girl in Dallas, Texas. Happy 4th of July, and we appreciate it. First cap, first team.
Brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot, a near record $2,900 and dinner for two at a Sonic drive-in tonight. The Rangers are hitting for D.D. Lucene, or maybe Lucian from Capel. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, D.D. from Capel will win $25,000. You could register at a participating Sonic restaurant. The record, Tom, I'm told, is $3,300, and it is really getting up there. So here's Kinsler, Andrews, and Hamilton. Ian has singled to lead off the Ranger first, stole second, was left there. Since then, he's fly to center and popped to short. Gets a hold of that one. Reimold goes back. It is over his head and off the out-of-town scoreboard. And Kinsler has his second hit of the night, a leadoff double.
Yeah, Ian slowly but surely is starting to make his presence known at the plate. Nice line shot right there.
13th Ranger hit, 6th extra base hit. And here is Elvis, one of only 2 Rangers not to have any offensive impact in this game. 0 for 3, he's fly to center, struck out, and grounded to third. The other is Cruz, who's also 0 for 3. All the Rangers have scored at least 1 run, except for Andrews, Cruz, and Kinsler, who's at second base for the 2nd time now. Beltre, Young, and Murphy have already scored twice.
Good sinker right there from Simone.
7 extra base hits now out of 13. Young with 2 of them, a double, an RBI triple, and an infield single. This time Reynolds charges, makes the play, but Kinsler still advances to third. Good piece of base running on a grounder hit to the left side.
He has excellent instincts on the bases. And he knows as soon as Reynolds goes to throw this ball, there's no way anything can happen to keep him from going to third base. But still, a lot of runners would just say, okay, ground ball hit to my right, I'll stay where I am.
Josh Hamilton 1 for 3, singled leading off the third, and scored on the Beltre homer. He has also struck out and flied to right. Simone on since the Beltre homer in the third. He's given up 3 runs, one of which was unearned. Simone started the year on the restricted list, was reinstated on May 21st after a shooting incident in the Dominican Republic over New Year's. And the bat toss almost gets chopped. Beltre in the on-deck circle.
Boy, if that didn't hit him, it's a miracle. I think it did hit him. Wow. Josh is saying, hey, the batting circle's over there.
Yeah, to be technically correct, he was not actually in the on-deck circle. Maybe he'll retreat there now.
Oh, you're right. He jumped over it. You know, technically, I think you're safer where Beltre was than where he's going now. I think you got a better chance of getting hit where Beltre is right now. He should have been in safe territory way over there. Josh is looking behind him to make sure where he is.
Yeah, that's his second bat toss of the night. But
that's some great reflexes right there.
Never doubt the athleticism of Adrian Beltre. At least he's not going all the way to the dugout. Now 3-2 to Josh. Well, Simone on New Year's accused of firing a gun into the air that fired a bullet that came down and killed a 25-year-old and wounded his 17-year-old brother. He was arrested, denied bail, supposedly was going to be in jail for a year. Ballistics cleared his gun as not firing the shot that killed the victim. So he was released after several witnesses in the Dominican Republic on New Year's Eve testified, said they were willing to testify that he could not have fired the bullet in question. So apparently he fired off a gun, but not the one that resulted in the tragedy. But it didn't delay his return to the major leagues for almost a couple of months.
Which I guess exonerates him from that crime, but not from being incredibly stupid to shoot a gun up in the air.
Exactly.
With the crowd around.
So this is just his 7th outing of the year. Ripped to right field. Markakis almost in his tracks. But deep enough for Kinsler to score, and it's 10-2. Josh with his first RBI of the night, his 41st of the season. And the base running of Kinsler, taking third on the grounder to third, puts him in position for this run, Tom.
Yep, it does. And that's what you expect from Ian. He's an excellent base runner. And one of the little ways that he helps the team succeed. You can focus on things like batting average. And Ian's starting to inch that batting average up slowly but surely. And sometimes the other things don't show up in a box score, but when you watch the Rangers play every day, you get a good look at all the other things that Ian does to help the ball club.
Beltre, the 2-run homer in the third, last time reached on an error by Reynolds, scored on the young triple. Well, Simone at least giving Buck Showalter some innings. That's his 50th pitch. Would have been a candidate to start tomorrow night if he hadn't been needed so early tonight. Beltre's looper is going to fall in there in right field for his second hit of the night.
Beltre is one guy that deserves as many bloopers as he can get after all the hard hit balls he's hit that have been caught.
So here is Michael Young now in his first at bat with a chance at the cycle. Led off the second with a double. Greeted Simone out of the bullpen with an infield hit in the third. Tripled in Beltre. Just below the 407 mark in right center field in the fourth. Chops the first pitch here foul. Michael on a real home tear of late. He's hit now 11 of his last 12 games, about a 370 clip here. 4 homers, 10 RBIs in that span. 7 homers on the year. 0-2. And one of the most memorable moments in Rangers history, the last Ranger cycle, Fenway Park, July 16th. Benji Molina capping it with the endless triple after a grand slam home run. Oh-2 pitch, hit high, center field, but room out there for Jones. Rangers get another run on 2 base hits. 1 man left. On to the 7th we go, and it is 10-2 on the 4th of July.
Hey, I'm Craig Gentry with the Texas Rangers. I'd like to wish our troops overseas a happy 4th of July. Thank you for all you do, and get home safe.
Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout days. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve, happy 4th of July. Was 100 degrees when we got started. 2 hours ago, it's 10-2. The 100th pitch of the night for Colby Lewis to Nolan Reimold, who has fly to center and grounded to second.
Well, it's a night where Ron Washington didn't want to go to the bullpen early, and Colby has made sure that didn't happen. Yoshinori's getting loose in the bullpen.
Lifted to not that deep left center field, and Chavez is there. And let's hear from Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. Colonel Ashworth with the U.S. Air Force on hand, and before the game, big happenings because you guys recruited, I guess, a record number here.
That's right, Jim. Today was a special day for not just the Air Force, but for 200 future airmen that made the decision to join the Air Force today, and we got I had the honor of offering the oath of enlistment to them before the game today.
Now, of course, on 4th of July, everybody's saying their thank yous and everything, but year-round, everybody's having their congratulations, job well done, especially the Texas Rangers. You were telling me just minutes ago, right?
That's right. You know, Major League Baseball and the Texas Rangers in particular are huge supporters of the military, and I can't tell you how much that means to all of our servicemen and women around the world.
Okay, I understand everybody here is a big-time Ranger fan. You want to do one other thing because you love the Rangers so much?
Absolutely, Jim.
Back to you, Dave and Tom. Always wanted to do that, Dave and Tom. There we go.
Thank you, Jim.
That sounded like an order.
That was great.
It has really been special having as many military As all weekend long, culminating tonight, we've had here at the ballpark. 2 outs for J.J. Hardy, 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a fly to right. Busy inning for Endy Chavez. He goes back, and this one is over his head and out of here, and it's 10-3. This is now 10 straight series for J.J. Hardy to have a home run. 12 total on the year. And for Colby Lewis, his second home run allowed tonight, his 22nd of the season.
A well hit ball by Hardy. Got a pretty good pitch to hit, and he hit it pretty well.
.407 feet to straightaway center. Same distance as the home run by Reynolds to left in the second.
Although they came a few years back, he's had years where he's hit 26 and 24 home runs. Only hit 6 last year with Minnesota, 11 the year before that. But prior to that, hit some pretty good home run seasons. Looks like he's right back in that area again this year.
Good backdoor breaking ball, and it is 0-2. Today's game brought to you by Miller High Life. This summer, find out how giving back bottle caps can give returning vets a piece of the high life. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details. Markakis 0 for 3 after his career 5 for 5 day in Atlanta yesterday. Hitless only once in his last 22 games. Had a 19-game hit streak through June 30th, longest of his career. Angels with another run now over the Tigers, leading 2-0, top of the 4th in Anaheim. Furbush against Pinheiro in that pitching matchup. High strike takes care of Markakis, now 0 for 4.
Well, he reached back for a little extra right there. 92 miles an hour, probably his last pitch.
His last of 111 pitches, and in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America.
Both at home and around the world. Tonight we invite you to join in singing God Bless America with Scott and Lauren Hoying.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home,
days, and the first 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive a Nelson Cruz boomstick. Compliments of Texas Dairy Queen. Get your tickets for Bat Day at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. That is a 2:05 start Sunday because it is the last day before the All-Star break. Nelly tonight 0 for 3. He's grounded out, flied out, and popped out. He and Elvis Andrus still the only hitless Rangers. In fact, the only Rangers who have not scored since Kinsler came home on the Hamilton sac fly in the 6th. 3 balls and no strikes from Simone. Now at 57 pitches after the starter Chris Jakubauskas lasted just 45. 2+ innings. He gave up 6 runs on 7 hits. Struck out 2, didn't walk anybody.
Well, Simone pitching tonight the same night as Jakubauskas may find himself in the rotation at some point in time as well.
That is in there for a base hit, and Cruz takes the collar off, digging for 2, and he is in there. And the Rangers, for the second straight inning, have a leadoff double. Emily has more on Nelson Cruz.
Well, guys, Nelson really starting to see things a lot better at the plate. He says he feels more comfortable, and it's definitely showing in the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are picking up for Nelly. They are for David Murphy, getting with his 9th inning triple last night. Singles in his first 2 at bats tonight. Drove in a run and scored in the 2nd. Scored again in the 3rd. Back down to Emily.
Well, Davey, he just talked. I think, Tom, you mentioned it a couple of games ago, and he did talk about how comfortable he is feeling at the plate. And when he goes the opposite way, that's when he really knows that he's seeing things well and is really comfortable at the plate. And obviously, we saw that a few games ago, and saw it again, or hopefully we'll continue to see that as time goes on.
Yeah, Em, I think the real good example of that was that home run that he hit the other night against Aníbal Sanchez. The line shot that went right over the Ranger bullpen. That's about as nicely as you can hit a line drive the opposite way.
Cruz with the Rangers' 15th base hit. The majority have been extra base hits. Murphy sends that one deep to left center field. And it is one hop off the wall. Cruz comes home. Murphy an RBI double. It's 11-3. And David Murphy with a 3-hit night. 3 for 4, coming in 3 for his last 23. He has waited a long time for this game.
Good pitch to hit, but you still have to hit it. David does a nice job at driving that ball the opposite way, showing good power. A lot of hitting by the Rangers tonight.
16 hits. That's the 9th extra base hit. Buck Showalter with action at his bullpen now, but hoping Simone can at least get him through the 7th here. Torrealba, 2-hit night, RBI double. Scored in the 2nd, then fly to right, and singled in the 5th. Torrealba, one of 6 Rangers to have multi-hit games going. Left-hander Pedro Viola warming up now in Showalter's bullpen. In there for a strike. Left-handed hitting Chavez in the on-deck circle. Torrealba 2 hits after he came in 1 for his last 13. Off the end of the bat to Davis at second. First out of the inning. Murphy advancing to third. And our Southern comfort getting after it tonight, Endy Chavez. First time up, 0-1 pitch, 383 feet to right, a 2-run homer, his third of the year. Next time up to the other corner, a 2-run double, scoring Young and Murphy. Endy came into the game with 8 runs batted in. He has 4 more tonight just in those 2 at bats. And it will be the lefty, Pedro Viola, who will come in to deal with Endy Chavez with the run in. 1 out, a man at third of the Rangers' 7th in an 11-3 ball game. Burger in Dallas at I-30 in Cockrell Hill, 11 a.m. Wednesday, and it's your chance to meet Matt Harrison. While you're there, sign up to be the Whataburger What-A-Fan and register to win 4 tickets in the owner's seats for the Rangers-Indians game on September 13th. Matt Harrison all set to start tomorrow night against an unidentified Oriole. We've identified the 3rd pitcher tonight, and it is Pedro Viola.
Only his 3rd game. Only had 2 innings under his belt so far. Don't know much about him. Let's wait and see what it looks like.
Second time to be called up from Double-A Bowie just last Friday. 24 games there. He was 3-1, 2 saves, 225 earned run average, 25 strikeouts, 9 walks, 28 innings. So pretty good at Double-A. And a good first pitch strike here to the pinch hitter, Craig Gentry. So Chavez listed 2 for 3, a 2-run homer and a 2-run double. Oh, 0-2 to Gentry. Four RBIs for Chavez, a career high. Orioles playing the infield about halfway in with Murphy at third, 1 out. Not all the way in on the edge of the grass. Viola 6'1", 185 from the Dominican Republic. Wieters keeps that bounce in front of him. Pedro originally signed with the Reds. Began in their system in 06, up for 9 games in Cincinnati in 09. Moved on off waivers to the Orioles. Got into 2 games last year after moving quickly through their system. Gentry takes the 1-2 breaking pitch inside. Next, it'll be Kinsler. He's got a 2-hit night. Then it would be Elvis, the only hitless Ranger at this point. This has been everybody into the pool on the 4th of July offensive show that the Rangers are putting on just ahead of the post-game Captain America Disney fireworks show here, which will be enjoyed by 42,885, almost a capacity house for the 2nd straight night.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame show again how many runs had been scored in this series the last 9 times the teams have played here. Rangers upholding their end of the bargain, but Colby Lewis did a nice job holding the Orioles down.
Out to Jones in center field, big arm, perfect throw, but Murphy beats it.
You got a slow runner on that ball. You're going to send anybody that's deep enough, and if you send a fairly slow runner, he's going to throw you out with this throw. This is a long-range, accurate throw by a kid with a great arm, boy.
That's why he has 9 outfield assists on the 4th of July, 3rd most in the league, and that's a lot for a whole season. And no doubt one reason that disappointed he didn't make the All-Star roster yesterday. Paul Konerko, by the way, the early American League first day vote getter in the final vote competition, and Shane Victorino is the National League leader.
Adam Jones is a young player, and he's on his way to having a very, very nice career. He'll have plenty of chances to make the All-Star team.
Two and 1 to Kinsler. He has single, double, stolen a base, and scored. Stolen base in the 1st inning, his 125th career steal. Ties him for the number 4 Ranger all time, Davey Nelson. Your teammate with the original Rangers.
He was. Davey was a great base runner. Remember a day, I think it was against Milwaukee at the old ballpark. He stole 2nd, 3rd, and home in the same inning, getting on base, and did it bang, bang, bang. And the steal of home was a true steal of home, where he beat the pitch to the plate, slid in safely. That was one of the more exciting examples of base running that you'll see.
Something you may never see again.
No, you don't see those kind of steals of home anymore. The other thing I saw Davey do one time, Bob Coluccio hit a double for Milwaukee, and he slid into 2nd base. And Davey got the ball from the outfielder and pulled the Little League play, where you go up to the runner and say, hey, step off the base while I kick the dirt off the bag. And Coluccio stepped off the bag. Davey tagged him, and Coluccio started fighting him right there at 2nd base for pulling that trick on him.
The hidden ball trick.
Yeah.
Well, Viola gives up a 2-out walk here to Kinsler. Another chance for Elvis to join the party. 0 for 4, 2 ground outs, a strikeout, and a flyout his first trip. Elvis 1 for 11 in the series against the Marlins, so 1 for his last 15 here. Tateyama was ready a long time ago. He sat back down now in the Ranger bullpen.
Tateyama was throwing, and Darren O'Day was throwing as well. Both of those guys were throwing out there. I don't know if Tateyama sat down after he didn't get in the 7th inning, and then O'Day got warmed up to come in now. We'll just have to wait and see.
Andres Blanco pinch running at first for Kinsler. High and foul. 1-1. Well, Orioles got 4 1/3 innings out of Alfredo Simon. Six runs charged to him. Good breaking ball, 1-2. Six runs on 9 base hits. One walk, didn't strike anybody out. Viola strikes out Elvis. His second strikeout. Andrews 0 for 5. Rangers get 2 more runs in the 7th to make it 12-3.
Staff Sergeant Kevin White in Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan. I want to say happy 4th of July to my beautiful wife Heidi, my parents in Del Rio, family and friends in DFW, and all throughout Texas. Go Rangers!
Angels as they lead the Orioles 12-3. Dave and Tom, time for the Progressive Fan of the Game. And I tell you what, this is Sergeant Larson. He emailed us and said he's been in the Marines 7 years, and his son Ty Larson turns 5 years old today. His wife's been supportive, his son's been supportive, and we're going to be supportive by giving him the Progressive bag. Thank you very much, the Fan of the Game, Progressive Fan of the Game. Thank you. There's the hat. There's the shirt. Congratulations for all you do. Is there anything you'd like to say, Sergeant Larson?
I just want to say God bless America. Thank you for everyone who's serving and who have served. All my brothers in the Marines, Semper Fi. God bless America, and let's go Rangers. Let's win this.
There we go. Standing ovation for him in Section 25. Thank you, Sergeant Larson.
We couldn't have a more deserving winner, Fan of the Game, could we? Darren O'Day is on in the 8th inning to face Jones, Guerrero, and Reynolds. Scheduled 3 for the Orioles after Colby Lewis went 7 innings. His 4th straight quality start. 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 4, walked 3. Hit a batter, gave up 2 homers. And 6 outs away from improving his record to 8-7. And on for the 10th time this year is O'Day.
I think Ron wants to get Darren a comfortable outing. Continue to work on his command.
Blanco stays in the game after running for Kinsler at second base. Gentry stays in the game after hitting for Chavez. He's out in center field. Colby throwing officially 110 pitches, 70 for strikes. Good solid outing. Trail very briefly 2-0 after the second inning homer by Reynolds. And O'Day handles the comebacker. Adam Jones 1 for 4. That'll bring up Vlad. Guerrero has reached all 3 times without putting a single ball in play. He was hit by a pitch in the second just before the Reynolds blast. Walked in the third, walked again in the 6th.
He'd only walked 9 times coming into the ball game. He's got 2 of them.
You could still be said of him. You really have to almost try to walk Vlad Guerrero. And O'Day runs that one way up and through the mid of Torrealba. Beltre just a step and a half off the line at third, just in case Vlad does get one of his trademark pull shots. Orioles only 5 base hits. Rangers with 16.
Well, with all due respect to Vlad, I think one of the moments of good fortune for the Rangers last offseason was when Guerrero turned down the Rangers' offer early in the offseason to come back and be the designated hitter. It's worked out well for the Rangers. He's not quite the same player. And look at the job Michael Young has done predominantly in that role.
Puts that one in play. Cruz is there. Back down to Emily Jones.
Well, as you guys mentioned a little bit earlier, Mike Napoli reinstated today, and the next time you see him, he might look a little different. He lost a bet with the Clubbies in the Mavs Heat NBA Finals, so he'll be dyeing his hair, from what I understand, blonde tomorrow. He also lost a little wager to me, so the next time you see him in the lineup, he'll have a few different walk-up songs. One of those has been left up to the fans. You can vote at TexasRangers.com/Emily1. You can cast your vote to pick one of those songs, and then I've enlisted the help of a couple of the other Rangers to pick the other 2. So I must say, Mike Napoli, a very good sport.
He better be.
I hope you pick a good one for him, man.
No, there are no good ones. I've heard heard the candidates. No, he will not be pleased, I don't think, with any of these musical selections. His teammates have done him no favors.
Tiny Tim singing Tiptoe Through the Tulips?
No, not quite that bad. Reynolds rockets one foul, but his teammates have done him no favors. I'll just leave it at that. So TexasRangers.com/Emily1. And participate in the impending humiliation of Mike Napoli.
Well, Mike Napoli sure had a couple of good days in Round Rock before he came back. Had a game-winning home run last night. A couple home runs before that in a game.
Had 2 straight 3-run homers in 9th innings. Tied the game Saturday. Walk-off shot yesterday.
When Nelly Cruz was called up, he was on the same.
That'd be tough for Taylor Teagarden to go back down to, because he was starting to not only continue to play very well behind the plate, he had a 3-hit game the other night. Reynolds sends another one deep to left field. Murphy racing back up against the wall. It is gone. A 2-home run night for Mark Reynolds, his 20th of the year.
Well, the first one made it 2-0. This one makes it 12-3. So if Reynolds is going to hit a home run, or anyone else, this is the time when you want to see it happen.
12-4 game, and he's responsible for 3 of the 4 Baltimore runs.
He's got 20 home runs now.
6 in his last 5 games. His second 2-homer game out of the last 3. Only 1 yesterday, but it was the game winner. 2-run shot in the 7th and a 5-4 win in Atlanta.
Kind of a typical game, showing the power and also the strikeout potential. Struck out twice, 2 home runs.
Matt Wieters singled his first time up. Since then, 2 grounders. The lone Oriole All-Star. This is the 5th straight year that Baltimore has been limited to only 1 representative on the American League team. Going right down to Blanco. So O'Day retires the first 2, then the long ball by Reynolds to make it 12-4, headed to the bottom of the 8th. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. And what better highlight than to just show the box score? Look at all the multi-hit games, 3-hit games by Young and Murphy. Michael, a homer from the cycle. He has scored twice, Beltre twice, Murphy 3 times. Chavez a career-high 4 RBI game. And Viola will pitch to Josh Hamilton with the overshift applied here. And a new Orioles shortstop in the game, Robert Andino replacing J.J. Hardy. Beltre is going to keep a safe distance, not even anywhere near the on-deck circle after what happened in Josh's last at-bat. He almost got kneecapped. Josh hangs on to that bat. Early on, toss one well into the crowd. And he set his teammate flying. He has also singled, scored, and driven in a run on a sac fly. Second baseman Davis comes in to make the play. Other defensive changes for Baltimore. Craig Tatum takes over for Wieters at catcher, and Felix Pierre is in right field for Markakis. Big night for Beltre, his second straight 3-hit game. 3 for 4 with a homer yesterday. He is 3 for 4 with a homer again today. 2-run shot. Run inning, the third. Next time up, reached on an error by Reynolds, scored an unearned run in the 4th. Last time up, he singled. Only time they retired him, he hit it hard. Lined out to right. Or correct that, it is a 2-hit game for Beltre with the error factored in. Scored twice. 16th homer, 64 runs batted in. On the corner. 2 balls and a strike. Another run for the Angels. Top of the 6th, they lead the Tigers 3-1. Looking like there will be perhaps for a second straight dive. They have first place tie in the American League West. Finals from this afternoon: Seattle 2, Oakland 1. Seattle hoping to first of all get close to 500 and stay right on the heels of the 2 co-leaders in the division. 2.5 back before that victory, and Beltre strikes out. Baseball fans, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball leagues in your community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswire.com. Here's Mike Napoli batting for Michael Young, so Michael will stay a homer shy of a cycle tonight. Double, infield single, RBI triple, scored twice. And Napoli just added to the roster this afternoon after completing a fairly spectacular rehab assignment at AAA. One swing, and that's what he was doing to the minor leaguers.
That didn't take long. Welcome back, Mike.
On the DL June 12th, been bothered by a strained left oblique for several days. That is the Rangers' 10th extra base hit tonight. That is a season high. 17th hit overall. Nelson Cruz 0 for 3 until a leadoff double in the 7th, and then David Murphy doubled him home. Viola came on to get the last 2 outs of the 7th inning after Alfredo Simon went 4 1/3, 6 runs, 1 of which was unearned. Shelled for 9 hits, didn't strike out a batter. Jack Kabauskas, the starter, 2+ innings. 6 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 2, didn't walk anybody. But the Rangers got to him for 4 in the 2nd. And for the first 2 of their 4 in the 3rd. And they have never looked back. Orioles runs on a 2-run 2nd inning home run by Reynolds. A 7th inning solo shot by Hardy. And another home run by Reynolds. Off of O'Day, a solo blast in the 8th. And Arthur Rhodes is now throwing in the Ranger pen. A little looper that is in there for a base hit. No throw from Jones. Napoli is home. It is 13-4.
The Rangers just scoring all different ways. 2 outs, nobody on, a double and a bloop single. Nelly turns an 0 for 3 into a 2 for 5.
2 for 5, drives in his 51st run of the year there.
Eighth player for the Rangers to drive in at least a run.
David Murphy's driven in 2. It's a good night as he's had this year. RBI single and a run in the 2nd, single and a run in the 3rd, RBI double and scored in the 7th. As many hits in 4 at-bats tonight as he had in his previous 23 at-bats. Up to 18 runs batted in. Fouls that one off the right hand of Torrealba in the on-deck circle. It's a dangerous place tonight. Other finals from today: Toronto 9, Boston 7. Indians beat the Yankees 6-3. Derek Jeter returned but was hitless. Minnesota 7, Tampa Bay 0. 6-hitter for Brian Dunsing. White Sox 5, Royals 4. High pop here will go out of play. National League: San Diego 5, the Giants 3. Arizona 8, Milwaukee 6. St. Louis 1-0 over the Reds. Philadelphia 1-0 over the Marlins. Dan Swirly 7 scoreless innings for the Phillies. Atlanta over Colorado 4-1. Pittsburgh beat the Astros 5-3. Washington 5, the Cubs 4. Mets 3, Dodgers 2. Top of the 6th in LA. Viola thinking he had nailed down the outside corner there. 1-2 to Murphy. Reaches out, rolls over to the second baseman. And Davis handles it for the final out. What should be the final at bat for the Rangers. They get another run on 2 hits. 13-4 headed to the ninth.
On this Independence Day with the Rangers leading at 13-4. John Radigan at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on the Rangers live set, getting ready for that program. And I've got the Nissan pitching matchup for tomorrow, and it is still somewhat uncertain. We know Matt Harrison will start for the Rangers, but the Orioles starter is yet to be determined. We'll likely find out from Buck Showalter after the game. Matt Harrison's been great of late, and we'll look for him to continue that trend on Rangers Live tonight. We'll hear from all the principals in this one. 9 Rangers with RBIs tonight, and Elvis, the only starter that didn't have a hit. We'll hear from as many of them as we can, get Mark McLemore's input. It's all coming up. Rangers Live, a complete post-game report right after the game. Dave and Tom, back upstairs to you guys.
All right, John, we'll look forward to it. Arthur Rhodes on to work the 9th inning. 28th outing of the year. This has kind of become his role as he tries to get things straightened out. Either isolated at bats just against left-handed batters or innings like this one. And he throws strike one to Derek Lee, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Arthur starting to come around too. 6 scoreless innings in his last 8 outings. Scored on in just 2 of his last 16. When he was really struggling, his ERA got up to 5.79. It's down to 4.12.
Yeah, that's hard to do for a relief pitcher because you just don't get enough innings to lower your ERA quickly. If you happen to have one bad outing where you pitch 2/3 of an inning, give up 4 or 5 runs, it takes you a long time to get it down.
Lee, Reimold, and Davis. Bottom third of the order here in the 9th for the Orioles. And they're at the knees, 2-2. As John said, Matt Harrison tomorrow. 7 o'clock again here in Fox Sports Southwest. Wednesday, Alexi Ogando going for his 9th win against 3-10 Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the 3-10. He's still a good pitcher. His ERA is not that bad. He's got good stuff. Low to mid 90s, hard sinker, good assortment of other pitches. So he can be a solid opponent.
Pretty hard to be 3-10 with an ERA under 4, but that's what he has.
Exactly.
Beltre handles the hopper by Lee. An 0 for 4 night for Derek. 2 outs to go in the 9th inning, and here's Reimold, who was fly to center, grounded to second, and fly to center again. So there will be no return sweep in the ballpark by the Orioles. Remember, going into the All-Star break last year, Rangers had so much momentum. They've gotten Cliff Lee started in that series. Orioles swept 4. Including the
touched up Cliff pretty well in that first start.
Neftali Feliz had some late inning trouble. Huge home run by Corey Patterson saved a game for them. Orioles at Camden Yards this year are 22-22. This is going to drop them to 14-24 on the road. It'll be their 15th loss out of their last 20. Right field, long run. Cruz is there, and the Orioles are down to their final out. Colby Lewis will go to 8-7 on the year. 7 innings, 3 runs on 5 hits, 110 pitches, 4th straight quality start. O'Day for an inning gave up a home run to Reynolds, his 2nd of the game. Rhodes gets the first 2 here in the 9th. And now Blake Davis, who has singled, walked, and flied to center. Arthur, of course, originally with Baltimore. All the way back in 91 through 99, the entire decade as an Oriole.
There's good slider to a left-hand hitter. That's right where he wants to shoot that.
Nearly 43,000 on the 4th of July on their for the 0-2 pitch. Davis will see at least another one. Out to play, one more still. Normally a game like this basically over since the 3rd inning. Crowd would have long since started to scatter. Not on the 4th of July, not with the big fireworks show coming up. Have to go a ways to match the offensive fireworks the Rangers put out on the field tonight. And that takes care of it. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Arthur Rhodes and the Rangers win the first of the 3-game series with the Orioles 13-4. Tom, the kind of game the Rangers probably needed to erase some bad memories from last night.
Yeah, it was a great game to come back and play like that. Kobe gave up the 2-run homer, but the Rangers came right back and scored 4 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, gave him a nice cushion. Kobe wins his 8th game, 7 solid innings, quality start, 3 earned runs, and the offense just pretty much sprinkled runs in every way possible with 18 hits, 13 runs, great offensive night, good night for Kobe, and a nice win for the Rangers coming back from a tough loss last night.
Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By the Progressive Insurance Group for money-saving car insurance quote. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. John Radigan coming up when we return to the ballpark.